The Galactic Interests Training Academy had seen countless species pass through its halls, but humans remained the one variable no simulation could reliably predict. Instructor Velara, a towering Craxian with scales that caught the dome lights like polished obsidian, had spent 3 decades training cadets from every corner of the civilized galaxy. She prided herself on her ability to maintain order, on reading body language across 47 species, on sensing escalation before it happened. Today, all that experience felt useless. The combat observation dome hummed with nervous energy as 24 cadets watched the exercise unfold below. In the center of the reinforced arena stood Arya Chen, a human barely into her 3rd decade, swallowed by a standard issue training suit that hung awkwardly on her slight frame. Across from her, crouched low and ready to strike, was Kor, a juvenile Vrathkar predator. His species had dominated the food chains of 17 worlds. Before they ever discovered spaceflight, Kor's claws scraped the metallic floor, each talon sharp enough to puncture hull plating. 4 eyes, arranged in a precise diamond across his angular skull, fixed on Arya with predatory focus so intense that even veteran soldiers usually looked away. The cub stood nearly shoulder height to Arya already. Though he was only 6 months old by human measure, adult Vrathkar grew to more than triple that size, ranking as apex threats in the Galactic Council's database. "This is insane," muttered Cadet Jixala, a Polonian whose tentacles writhed with visible anxiety. "Humans are prey. Category 4 on the durability index. That cub could tear her apart in seconds." Velara's translator crackled as she spoke through the comm. "Cadet Chen, you may abort the exercise at any time. Kor's neural inhibitor will activate the moment you feel threatened." Arya's voice came through comm and almost amused. "Thanks, instructor. We're good." Below, Kor began his approach. It wasn't a cautious stalk. It was the confident stride of a predator who had never known failure, who believed the universe itself had been designed for him to dominate. Muscles rolled beneath midnight fur. A deep rumble rose from his chest, a sound that triggered an instinctive flight response in 70% of sentient species. One Trelaxian fainted outright, its crystalline form dulling as consciousness slipped. Arya didn't budge. She stood loose, balanced, watching Kor with a focus that made Velara's scales prickle. The instructor recognized that expression. She had seen it on battlefield hunters, never on a species classified as prey. Kor closed the distance. 10 meters. 5. 3. He lunged. Vrathkar cubs went from stillness to 40 kilometers per hour in less than a second, and Kor moved like living lightning. His jaws opened wide, rows of serrated teeth flashing, claws extended to full length, curved blades ready to tear through reinforced bone. Every instructor in the observation deck reached for the emergency shutdown dot, and Arya laughed. Not a panicked giggle, not the hysterical crack of someone breaking under pressure. It was genuine delight, bright and unrestrained, as if she'd just been handed a wonderful surprise. She shifted her weight. Suddenly she wasn't where Kor expected her to be. His momentum carried him past by a few centimeters, enough that the wind of his passing ruffled her hair. Arya extended a hand and tapped him lightly on the nose. She booped him. Kor landed in a clumsy heap. more shocked than injured. His four eyes widened in disbelief. Nothing had ever dodged him. Nothing had ever touched him while he attacked. And nothing ever had made that strange high-pitched sound humans called laughter. The confusion lasted 3 seconds. Then instinct surged back. Core snarled. A sound evolved over millions of years specifically to freeze prey where they stood. The air rippled visibly with its force. Windows vibrated. Arya's grin only widened. Nice try. She didn't step away or reach for a weapon. She simply stood there, steady and unshaken, meeting his gaze with an expression no galactic classification had ever managed to categorize. Courage? Madness? Humans blurred the line with alarming frequency. Core charged again, this time with actual fury behind the movement. But the dynamic had shifted. He wasn't hunting anymore. He was trying to reclaim a sense of dominance, to force the universe back into familiar rules. Arya slipped aside with almost dance-like grace, finishing the dodge with a playful pirouette. As she passed him, she tapped the side of his head. "You're getting predictable, buddy." The observation deck erupted. Cadets shouted in 17 languages. Several activated anxiety suppressors. 2 more fainted. Velara hovered over the shutdown control, but hesitated. Something about the exchange felt different. Arya wasn't fighting. She was playing. And after his 3rd failed attack, Core seemed to realize it to dot. The cub sat back, hunches folding under him, head tilted as he studied this baffling creature who smelled like prey, but moved like a seasoned Vrathkar matriarch teaching a reckless youth. His snarl faded into a puzzled growl, then into silence. Arya approached slowly, palms open, posture low and relaxed. She pulled something from her pocket. The scanners identified it as processed meat human jerky. "You know what your problem is?" she said casually, tossing the strip toward Core. He caught it without breaking eye contact. "Everyone's told you you're scary your whole life. Those claws, those teeth. People see you and run. But here's the thing about humans. We domesticated wolves. We befriended things that used to hunt us. It's kind of our specialty." Core chewed slowly, processing this alien logic that contradicted every instinct screaming inside him. Arya sat cross-legged, making herself smaller. "So here's the deal. You can keep trying to intimidate me, or we can be friends." She held up another piece of jerky. "And friends get treats." The dome fell silent. Core considered her. The tension in his shoulders softened. His pupils relaxed. Then, with surprising gentleness for a creature built to shred armor, he padded forward and flopped beside her. The weight of his body hit the floor with a thud that nearly crushed her legs. But Arya only laughed and scratched behind his auditory ridge. The deep rumble in his chest shifted frequencies. Translators struggled for a moment before identifying it. Core was purring. Velara stared, speechless, until she finally managed. "Someone explain to me what just happened." Jixila whispered, tentacles trembling. "Humans. That's what happened. And for the first time in the Academy's long history." No one voiced disagreement.